Hey guys, today we're making a card using the More Than Chocolate stamp set. This is in the annual catalog, and the first time I saw it, I fell in love. Here it is in the annual catalog. Here is some inspiration projects, which are perfect. Perfect time to get your Valentine's Day cards in. So you have a circle, a heart, then you have some sentiments, and then you have all these little chocolates. It's a two-step stamp, so, you know, you can make... Here's your base, and then you have the two different options, and then your topping, which, well, this will make sense once I put the stuff together. And then the sentiments are, all you need is chocolate. Chocolate makes everything better. I love you more than chocolate. Hope things get better for you soon, and not for actual consumption. So this could be a love card, or kind of a encouragement, things will get better type of card. This is in the annual catalog, so it is available now. I'm going to explain to you how you fill these two things with chocolate. I'm just going to do the heart, but I did, last night I was playing around and I did make little templates. So here, and of course these are, I made some mistakes. These were just practice templates so I could practice the placement of chocolate. So here is the heart, and then here is the circle. Of course, you know, if you put your own together, you could do it however you like. But I saw this on Pinterest, the way this lady placed them. I thought that was great. And then I just kind of played around with the circle. These two are also, they coordinate with the, that's not the Sweet and Sassy framelits. Here is the Sweet and Sassy framelits, the hearts. So your normal straight line heart coordinates with this. And then for the layering circle framelits, you have the circles, which coordinate with the circle stamp. So when you see in a catalog, it's grayed out. See how this is gray? If you look back here, it says coordinates with blah, blah, blah. So just a tip if you weren't aware of that. So I am not sure how I'm going to make this card. I'm going to, that's a luxury of filming. I can stop it and then figure out what I'm doing. But I do know that how I'm going to stamp it. So what we're going to do is we are going to stamp. We're not going to do the circle, but we're going to do the heart. Stamp this. I'm going to use this as my template. And before we get started, I wanted to tell you about the stamps. So if you notice, each of these stamps has a little point, and then there's an arrow. That is the direction that you match up your stamps. So if you're doing the little swirls, and then you want to get the swirls over here, if you stamp all your stamps with the point going up, you know that when you get your swirl, this point goes up. If that makes sense. I hope it does. It's just an easy way for you to line up your stamps, and it's all on the layering bits. Now, it's great. However, you have to be careful that these points, these little extra acrylic pieces, they don't get inked up, because that's what happened here. You can see it got inked up, and when I stamped down, I pressed too hard. And so obviously this is ruined unless you have a way to cover it, or if you don't care about that, so what? But me, it bothers me. So be careful when you're stamping that you don't stamp this or ink up this little extra piece. So it's good for lining up, but it's also, you have to be extra careful that you don't mess up your card. All right, so I have quite a bit of inks I'm going to be using. I'm just going to tell you the colors as I go, because like I said, I really don't even know what my design of the card is going to be, but I do know I want my heart to look like this. So all supplies also will be listed below. So for my heart outline, I'm going to be using Early Espresso. My Early Espresso may look different because last night I was like, oh, I need to re-ink this. It's a little dry. And so instead of grabbing Early Espresso, I grabbed my chocolate chip re-inker. Thankfully, they are similar in color. Chocolate chip is a little bit lighter. So I don't really know what that did to my pad. I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's not the end of the world. But just know my Early Espresso may look a little funny compared to yours. I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference because the colors are so similar. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this down. I like to hold it for a second just so the ink soaks in. Does that really make a difference? I have no idea. I'm going to do a couple just in case for whatever reason I mess up, and then I can just go ahead and move on to the next one. I don't have to get my ink out, get my stamp back out. Now I'm going to keep my early espresso ink out, and I'm going to be doing the outlines. So the little scalloped packaging. I'm going to get each one out. I have my stamping blocks. So I want the rectangle, the square, the circle, oh, and the triangle. So I'm going to get these out, and I'm going to stamp these in early espresso. So let me get my guide. I'm going to start with the triangle because I'm going to start at the bottom. And I suggest when you're stamping and flipping your stamp around, do not do it over your image. Move around on the side, because if you drop it, then it is ruined. And ask me how I know that. I'm not too worried about where the arrow is facing. I'm okay with lining up my stamps. But if you aren't, then make sure that you pay attention to where this little tab is, so you know what direction to do your next step stamping. Alright, so there are all my little packaging wrappers. I'm going to keep my early espresso out because a couple of these I'm going to stamp in early espresso, and then we will be done. Of course, the color options for your candies are totally up to you, whatever you like. Now, I do like things pretty uniform, so for your little rectangles, you do have two options, the stripe or the polka dot. I'm just going to stick to the stripes. And so I have this piece, but then for my little striping to fill this in, you have this piece. So you need both. Then for my triangles, I have, again, two options, the striped or the polka dots. I did both. So I'll go ahead and do both this time. You will need quite a bit of stamping blocks, otherwise you'll have to, you know, stop and clean them. For my square, I used both as well, the little crosshatch and then the sprinkles. And for the sprinkles with the square, for the square and the circle, it's the same swirl, which is nice. It's one less stamp to use. Alright, so I have all my stamps out. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do some in the early espresso since I have it out. I may switch up some of the patterns. And then just, you have to really get on top of the stamp set, or the stamp, to get it lined up as even as possible. So sorry, I'm kind of at the bottom of my screen. I just don't want to mess up. You know, this, if you have no patience at all, this stamp set's probably not for you, but the outcome is just so cute. So let's see, I'm going to do a circle. And like I said, I like things a little bit uniform, so symmetrical. I will do a couple of my triangles. Okay, I think that's good. So I am done with early espresso. I'm going to go ahead and put it up. Next, I'm going to take, I'll do chocolate chip. Alright, we're good with the chocolate chip. Let's do a couple in soft suede. All right, then I'm going to bring in Sahara Sand. Okay, and there are our chocolate pieces. Then we want to add the colors. All right, so for this little sample, I use Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm going to stick to that. However, in my my circle, I left a few white, so we're going to kind of see how that goes. I may leave some white space. First, I'm going to start off with the little rectangles, and I'm going to probably go off camera here, or scroll down. What am I talking about? Scoot down so I can see what I'm doing, and just stamp over my chocolates. All I'm doing is I'm holding it over and looking straight down through until I see the white space, and then I know to stamp down. It takes practice. You know, you don't fret if you're not an expert at lining up your stamps and all that. Just practice with it, because see, that one wasn't great at all. But I can restamp it. It's not a big deal, and I'm probably off camera, aren't I? Yes. And there we go. Not a big deal. Using the darker color and this being a lighter color, it's a lot more forgiving. That one was way off, but we're going to just keep going. Okay, let's go ahead and do my little... For me, the polka dots is a little bit hard because it's such a small area, so you may choose just to leave that white. Maybe it's white frosting, I don't know. And this is where your little tab would come in handy to line up like the cross hatching and all that. I'm just gonna wing it. Good enough. I'm gonna leave this one white, that circle one. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this one. So I'm going to leave this one white. I'm going to leave these white, the little swirls. Let's go ahead and stamp our other polka dot triangles. And here I got a little bit of that tab, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. If you're not filming, you can do this a lot better because you can really get on top of these stamps. My camera is literally by my nose. And the swirls can be done in red, and again, I messed up right there. It can be done in red, it can be done in whatever color you prefer. I'm going to take a white gel pen. This is a Signo Uniball, and you know, I think Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. I don't know if they still do. And we're going to see if we can kind of cover these up. If they do sell it, I will link it below, obviously. There, that helps a little. I don't think anyone would notice it. I just notice it because I know it's there. But not bad. I'm going to let this dry, and then we will die cut it out using the Sweet and Sassy Framelits. I believe it was this one. Now, my stamp is not really lining up with my die as I would like. And I think what happened was, because this one's perfect, what happened was with these stamps, when there is no center, like this, what you need to do is, I think I just took this and I just laid it on my block. When you do that, you don't necessarily get the shape that the stamp is meant to be, because I can manipulate this and put it on crooked. So when there is no center, and this goes to the circle as well, you want to lay it down, let the stamp get its shape, and then put your acrylic block down, because I'm pretty sure then my stamp would have stamped properly. See how there's a lot of white space here, but then we cut it close. Oops. And then over here. So we'll see how it does. I'm not going to worry about too much about it. If it's really bad, I will just trim, fussy cut it. But I'm not redoing this. So once this dries a little bit, the white gel pen, I will go ahead and die. Alright, so I die cut it out, and as you can see, look how wonky it is. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to really worry too much about this being cut off, but I'm just going to kind of fussy cut my heart. So definitely make sure that when you stamp these types of stamps that you set it down first, then grab it with your acrylic block. Lesson learned. And I even knew that fact, and I still messed up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll go ahead and put the card together. Okay, so I went ahead and die cut this out, and I fussy cut a little bit to make sure that the outline, the early espresso dark outline, was somewhat even. I went ahead and used these smaller die from the Sweet and Sassy Framelits to cut out a couple hearts. This is Sweet Sugar Plum, the same ink I used for my little candies. Sweet Sugar Plum is a retiring color at the end of May. Really bad with dates. End of May it retires, whenever the annual catalog retires, which I have right in front of me, May 31st. So that in color is retiring. So I am bringing in a strip of Sweet Sugar Plum. I have my two little hearts. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. I'm bringing in the Wood Textures pattern paper, or DSP, whatever we call it. I have a card base, A2 size card base, so 8.5 by 5, scored at 4 1/4. Is that right? But A2 size measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have the Wood Textures that is 1/4 of an inch smaller, so you just get a little peek from the Sweet Sugar Plum. I kind of wanted to make this a rustic. That when I thought about it, I'm like, what do I do? Here I am using, and I sure hope this is still available and it didn't just retire, but Softly Falling Textured Impressions. I will have it below, and if it is not available, I will say retired. And sorry, I should have checked before I used it, but we're just going to keep on going. I went ahead and embossed the crumb cake panel, and then we're going to just somehow put our pieces together. First, let me go ahead and attach this. I thought about bringing in some ribbon. I don't have any ribbon that coordinates really well that is still available. If you wanted something really rustic, you could bring in the burlap ribbon. Go ahead and attach this. For my sentiment, I am choosing I Love You More Than Chocolate. I will be using Early Espresso ink to kind of tie in with my heart. So I just have this scrap of Sweet Sugar Plum, and let's hope I stamp this straight so I don't have to cut any of it, and I do not think it's straight. So we'll just flip it over and try again. I think this is a little bit better. Let's hope. Good enough. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to pop up this heart with my Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I have my banner triple punch here. I wanted to go ahead cut this, trim this down. Alright, go ahead and pop this up. And then maybe add these hearts. It looks okay. I'm going to go and pop them up. And there we go. Really simple. This can be a little tedious, but I love the outcome of it. So to me, it's all worth it. Nice little sweet Valentine's Day card. I love you more than chocolate. Liked using the DSP, the wood grain, because I haven't used that in a long time. So all supplies will be listed below if you are interested. I will be bringing this stamp set back to my other channel, Crazy Paper Chick, if you're interested in hopping over there. It's a non-Stampin' Up channel, but sometimes I do bring up Stampin' Up products because I'm so excited about them. And this is definitely one stamp set that I do want to use again. I'm not doing a Valentine's Day series over there if you follow me over there already, but I will be doing Valentine's Day cards. And this is one stamp set I will be using. So if you're interested in checking out a different design. However, I'm sticking to my goal. It's only the 2nd, and I will be trying my best to do more videos on this channel, especially with Celebration happening. Starts tomorrow. So stay tuned for products from the Celebration catalog. If you are a customer of mine and have made a purchase within the last 6 months, you should have already received your catalog. Please let me know if you haven't. And if you make a purchase, don't forget to use the Hostess code and you will automatically get a catalog. And if your purchase is $50 or more, you do get a free gift from me if you use the Hostess code. So let me know if you have any questions. All supplies will be listed below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.